vocês estão? Todo mundo bem? Todo mundo vivo? Todo mundo inteiro? Bem, espero que sim. Hoje a gente vai jogar Genshin. Simplesmente porque não tinha mais nada que eu quisesse jogar. Realmente, os jogos estão acabando. E eu não queria jogar nenhum no controle, então... Genshin! Genshin tá aí pra isso, né? Genshin serve pra tampar os buracos. Na verdade, Genshin é um ótimo tapa-buraco. Sejamos sinceros. Deixa eu botar o Genshin na tela aqui pra vocês poderem ver. Cadê Genshin? Cadê Genshin? Genshin tá lá no final da lista. Escondidinho. Pronto. Ai meu Deus, meu zóio tá bugado. Vê que meu zóio tá bugado. Preciso de iluminação pra desbugar meu zóio. Deus disse que haja luz. Só que ele botou luz demais no mundo. Agora eu estou cego. Estou cego, estou cego. Hoje menos luz suficiente. Pronto. Temos a quantidade exata de luz para as coisas funcionar. É isso. Bora lá pro jogo. Como vocês podem ver, eu estou aqui com a Linette flutuando na água. Bonitinha. Queria mostrar uma coisa que eu descobri. E não é a safadeza aqui que fizeram de censurar. Ah, não foi. Pera aí. Acho que eu tenho que mergulhar mais fundo. Ah, sim. Agora a gente pode nadar no Genshin, pra quem ainda não sabia. Uou. Ela dá um pulo. É isso, gente. Era só isso mesmo que eu tinha pra mostrar. Eu vou continuar a missão. O que é essa bola flutuando do meu lado? Eu nem sei o que é essa bola flutuando. Eu não posso trocar de personagem agora. Aí, aparentemente nadar não consome mais coisa. Estamina. Eles podiam ter colocado aqui uns negocinhos, né? Tipo, umas acrobacia. As coisinhas assim. Aí eu vou morrer. É um golfinho, ela é um golfinho. Acabou. Não dá mais pra brincar de golfinho. Então eu tenho que visitar a família do Jax. Seja lá quem for, Jax. Jax alguma coisa. Eu nunca usei a Linette pra lutar. Sério. Ah, ela cura. Nunca vai usar muito a Linette, né, minha gente? Queria usar ela mais, mas não tô tendo muito por que usar ela. Ela cura bem, pelo visto. Minha Nemo é Tá a sucrosa aqui.
Over here. Let the magic begin. No touching.
Ela aplica Nemo bem, né? A ult dela é legal, a ult dela é boa. É tipo a ult da sucrose. Enfim, mandaram uma sucrose 2.0 aqui pra gente. Como é que eu abro isso aqui?
Surprise.
Não faço ideia de como é que eu abro aquilo ali. Não queria mesmo. Tá, eu tenho que... Isso aqui é o que eu mais gostei dela. Vou dar uma sumida. Como é que eu chego lá embaixo mesmo? Eu esqueci. Achei. Será que tá travando? Chegamos. Vamos lá falar com a família do Jax.
It is settled then. Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Não quero ser aqui o cara a adivinhar o plot. Mas eu tenho certeza que o culpado de todos os crimes aqui é o mordomo. Sempre é o mordomo.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Sim, dinheiro. Eu sei que você não tem, mas a gente precisa. De muito dinheiro, manda dinheiro. A cara da garotinha lá no fundo, ó. Ai, carai. O microfone tá caindo aqui. Pronto, ressuscitou o microfone. Garotinha com uma cara desconfiada. Certeza que ela tá olhando assim pra Papai Mon.
Hey, Nadia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
É, porque será? A gente tá falando com a família do cara que supostamente nosso pai matou.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mura and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
Então a mulher tá de boa com a gente. A gente não, né? Ela tá de boa com a nossa amiga aí. A senhorita Návia. A patricinha burguesa. Burguesinha. A burguesinha.
All of
Só no
those
filé.
things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques.
Como é que ela é uma burguesa falida, né? Pra ser sincero.
With losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you. Because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift.
A tradução ficou meio merda, né? A viajante tá com uma cara de... O que eu tô fazendo aqui, minha gente? Eu não precisava estar aqui, eu devia estar em outro lugar. Porra, uma torta de climão, minha gente. É isso. É a cara de... Porra, torta de climão.
I know. Only the full truth could bring closure to you. And to all of us.
Eu acho que ninguém tá interessado, na verdade. Esse é o fato. A galera só quer seguir em frente. Essa garota tá foda, velho. Quando ela vai pular na cara de alguém.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment. but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Como assim?
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again.
Será? Eu tenho minhas dúvidas.
He had many
Confio nele não.
and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately.
Cara, assim, na moral, a altura da Návia é um mistério. Porque eu não sei se ela é mais alta que a viajante ou mais baixa que a viajante, que depende da cena. Tem cena que ela tá mais alta, tem cena que ela tá mais baixa. É que ela tá, tipo, gigante. Tinha uma outra cena que ela, tipo, mais baixa que a viajante.
He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Entendi nada, garota.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to.
Pera aí, então ele... Que...
Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
Por que a garota parece tão suspeita? Eu tô suspeitando muito dessa criança. Tem algo de muito errado com ela.
Why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
A vida é assim, criança. Não existe gente boa, não existe coisa boa ou ruim. Existem consequências. A gente faz uma escolha e vive com as consequências delas. Às vezes nem é a gente que faz a escolha, às vezes outras pessoas escolhem pela gente. Às vezes a gente nem tem escolha. Enfim. A vida não é simples. Quem dera fosse. Vamos continuar a história antes que eu comece a chorar.
Things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
É isso aí, garoto.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons.
Exatamente. Não julguemos.
Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better
Não,
life.
na moral, maluco, olha o tamanho dessa mulher, velho. Qual o tamanho de salto que ela tá usando? Na moral, deu uns 20 centímetros só de salto. Olha aí. A mulher é só perna.
Oh,
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth.
Ai, não.
The current state of things is not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Será que a gente vai realmente encontrar a resposta?
I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
Moça, não fica elogiando muito não, vai subir pra cabeça dela, não faz bem.
You really think so?
Falei.
The first time anyone said that to me.
Sempre sobe pra cabeça. testemunha da família de Jacques. Jacques de Locro.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry.
Não se preocupe, hein?
3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
A gente tá querendo falar com o X9.
I'm
É
sure you've
você?
heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
Será? Provavelmente, né? Imagina, a pessoa simplesmente virou água no meio do palco. Será que tipo, a pessoa que virou água, ela virou água? Ela virou uma água viva? Será que todo mundo que vira água se torna
On the day that the incident happened with my
um
father,
ser de água?
it was raining
Ou
outside.
vira só
We
água?
found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case.
É uma boa ideia. Vamos achar o culpado. Vamos ver a cara dele, se ele vai se entregar.
Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Ele me perdi.
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table.
Certo, certo. Então ele tava bebendo. Muito bom, bom
He told us
saber.
that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after?
He shot me down, bang, bang.
My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I never
Acho que eu
really bought that
entendi.
explanation.
O primeiro tiro foi no cara que virou água. Não, na verdade o primeiro tiro foi no Jacques. O segundo tiro foi no cara que virou água.
Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person.
É, faz sentido. Eu não... É,
About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
é bem provável, moço.
At least from our perspective,
É
my
muito
father had no reason
provável.
to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him.
He shut me down, bang, bang.
The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Será? Será que ele realmente atirou nas 2 pessoas e foi autodefesa? É bem provável.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys?
Bem provável, faz sentido.
But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolved right in
E
front of his
se
eyes?
o Arconte que tá fazendo isso? Apesar que eu acho que ela é muito boba pra fazer isso, né?
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
Assim que eu descobri que não é você, o X9,
I understand.
o cara que tá entregando a gente,
Mr. Callus's
o
honor in your
traidor,
hands,
o
boss.
Judas, Iscariote.
And if I may just say one more thing, the whole callous, the unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented.
Não boto fé não.
Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Justo. Justo.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Ah, eu tô achando que o Florente não é o traidor. Mas é que eu já falei minha teoria, né? Eu acho que o traidor é o mordomo. Sempre é o mordomo. É sempre culpa do mordomo. Todo filme é o mordomo. Não tem outro. They shot me down, bye bye. Cadê? Ah, é com tu mesmo que eu tenho que falar? Thierry. Ele mesmo cantou Rita.
It's me.
Oh, Rita, volta desgraçada. Volta, Rita, que eu perdoo a facada. Oh, Rita, não me deixe. Volta, Rita, que eu retiro a queixo.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something
Poisson.
wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
Pera, ele não tá na cidade?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson.
Poisson.
Callus did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Meu amigo, não me olha assim, hein? Não me olha assim. A Paimon aqui. Paimon tá aqui do lado, não é a hora.
These two are my partners.
Isso aí também, tem uma cara de X9.
What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Lenny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Será que isso é uma boa ideia? Abrir caso antigo.
I get it. You
Eu acho que o esquema era deixar morto.
case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
Ah, seria uma boa ideia.
That'd be
Traz lá,
much
traz lá.
appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own.
Poisson.
Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Não, não. A gente só tá suspeitando que foi você que mandou matar a gente.
Well,
Assim,
you see,
por nada.
just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city.
Ah lá. Nossa suspeita. Ah lá.
So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Caraca, mano. É Essa mulher não é muito boa, né, na arte da investigação, né? Ela literalmente tá acusando o cara na frente dele. Não é assim que a gente faz, meu Deus. A gente pergunta pro irmão dele.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them.
Aham, acredito.
If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage.
Eu acho que se você pedir isso aí pro chefe de cozinha, ele vai mandar ser a merda.
If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Se é que ele existe, já que ninguém sabe quem ele é.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Ah, ainda não tô confiando muito nele, não. Na verdade, não tô confiando em ninguém. Caraca, tá ali embaixo. Olha o cachorrinho do chapéu. Ainda tô chateado com o Genshin que a gente não pode fazer carinho nos cachorros. Quando, Mihoyo, quando? Quando você irá deixar que nós façamos carinho nos cachorros? A gente nunca te pediu nada, Mihoyo. Mentira, a galera pede coisa pra Mihoyo toda semana, mano. Por que não? É só fazer carinho no cachorro. Um cachorrinho. Eu morri ou não morri? Não morri, não.
Hello, how may I help you?
Dinheiro. Queremos
I'm
dinheiro.
here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Navia is looking for him.
Sure, I will let him know right away.
Olha, não vou dizer não, a Navia tem uma presença que é foda, viu?
Ah, Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Sei.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Tarde demais, Paimon. Você já virou uma há muito tempo. Tenho certeza que o Vente conversa sobre você todo dia.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exatamente. Exatamente isso, moço.
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea.
Cachorrinho de chapéu lá no fundo, minha gente, tem um cachorrinho de chapéu.
If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Esse daí tá soando mais culpado de
Thank
todos.
you, Uncle Marcel. But
Certeza que ele é culpado.
I'm going to... Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory.
Ai, mas é muito culpado.
The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Disparo.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Ele ouviu só disparo. Todo mundo ouviu dois.
Just let me know
Só
if
ele
you
ouviu
need
um.
more. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Cara, esse jogo tá me passando uma vibe Pokémon. Principalmente essa parte de Fontaine. Ali o Pokémon X e Y. Eu esqueci o nome do novo. Novo não, nem é novo, mas é antigo pra caramba, acho que o Shield. Sword Shield.
Based on their conversations with me,
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
Ah, o último apareceu sim.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years.
Eu acho que seu tio é o mais suspeito.
Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right. Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
Então, basicamente, o cara foi pra matar o pai da garota.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
Exatamente. Ele foi pra pedir ajuda.
What would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order and seek protection from my father. Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory.
Tudo é teoria, moça.
Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well.
A gente pode tentar ir achar o nosso amigo aí que
It's obvious
Que mandou.
that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
Só teu tio.
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
Vamos no Sherry.
Henry, you say? Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use.
Eu acho difícil, moça. Acho bem difícil.
But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
É, eu também suspeito. Eu já falei, minha gente. É o mordomo.
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be?
É o mordomo. Olha, eu acho que é o Marcel. Eu realmente acho que é o Marcel.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
É o único que tem dinheiro, né?
Could we be missing other suspects?
O
Malus didn't know
mordomo.
about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these 3, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered.
É o mordomo.
His case for the 3,
Eu tenho certeza que é o mordomo.
made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight.
Assim, pode não ser só uma pessoa também, né? Pode ser várias pessoas.
Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we don't have any other options right now.
É isso aí, bora lá quebrar tudo.
We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Olha só, chegou nosso suspeito aí, ó.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
É ela que eles vão julgar.
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Eita, eles vão julgar o Child.
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Até demais.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Tartaglia.
It's absurd, don't you
É,
think?
faz sentido. Faz sentido.
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right. Because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Olha, não vamos negar que o Tartaglia tem uma cara de culpado
Yeah. And it'll be a
gigantesca.
lot harder than to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do?
Ai, ai.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just as expected of my partner.
Paimon, por que você tá com essa cara? Tu vai junto, filão.
Since this is a trial about the serial
vai
disappearances
junto.
case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Arrhenius, leaving his home base wide open.
Será?
You're right. This is our best opportunity.
Duvido
All right, then.
muito.
Let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
Não se preocupe. Eu não farei o possível.
Just like you helped us in Lenny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
Maluco, do jeito que vocês saíram, velho? Vocês estão brotando, maluco? Vocês brotam do chão, você...
I'm ready.
Certeza, maluco. Esses dois aí não viram água, não. Eles vêm da água. Nasce.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you two get here?
Eles estavam te seguindo o tempo todo, pode ter certeza.
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance.
Tô muito chateado que a roupa deles não é simétrica.
It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Arrhenius. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
See you then.
Bye, bye. Tenho uma certeza, é culpa do Fatui. Tudo que acontece no Genshin é culpa do Fatui.
Now that Navia has set out for Arrhenius, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. According to Malus's info, the synth production base is underwater.
Bom, eu vou ter que entrar debaixo d'água.
Find the entrance.
Tá mergulhando. Temos um ponto de teleporte aqui. Não é muito estranho eu ativar um ponto de teleporte debaixo d'água.
Finally found it.
Gente, a voz da Paimon debaixo d'água fica mais irritante ainda.
It sure doesn't seem out of the ordinary at all. Ah, you're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms.
Duvido.
Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
Eu duvido que tenha alguma armadilha aí dentro. Objection.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right?
Peraí. O cara vai escolher julgamento por duelo?
In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right?
Ah, tá, já entendi. Isso aqui é tudo coisa do Tartaglia.
I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Se acostuma, moça. Se acostuma. Tartaglia é assim. É babaca mesmo.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Cara, é muito engraçado que a Arconde ela não consegue manter a pose.
Alas, it would appear that
Ela é tipo um pincher que fica latindo, mas na hora de brigar mesmo sai correndo.
made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man. Huh? What's going on?
Dun.
Is she interjecting again?
Ela pode.
I
Ela é
told you
bonita.
it couldn't be one of the Fatui harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Por favor. Manda ela pra cadeia.
Please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default, correct?
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway. So I'll take you
Porra, o
up on that
Tartaglia é
offer.
babaca demais, pelo amor de Deus. Cara
So, Your
chato.
Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
Não sei quem é pior. Ele ou. Não, é o. O Escarabote é pior.
You may
Escarabote é
take a
bem
seat for
pior.
now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted.
Escaramote é complicado. Escaramote é tipo aquela criança mimada que não recebeu atenção suficiente dos pais. Tipo, tinha tudo que queria, menos a atenção dos pais.
That person is... Marcel! The
Marcel.
head of Confrérie of Cabrières!
Será que é ele mesmo?
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Porra, será que é ele mesmo?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me
Não é o
remind you,
contrário
Miss
de inimigos
that
para
charging
amigos.
someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation.
Pô, já
Knowing
pensou
this,
se eles realmente
do you
dessem essa
still wish to
opção
charge this man?
da gente errar e a gente for parar na cadeia de verdade?
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial.
Cara, isso vai dar uma treta. Mas isso vai dar uma treta. É casa de família, velho.
You will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on.
A sobrinha tá te acusando, cara.
I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Será?
In that case,
Eu já falei, cara, certeza que é o mordomo.
Miss Navia, please
É uma
present
pena
your
que o
charges.
jogo não pode. Não pode deixar eu escolher.
3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father?
Não, claramente não foi você, mas provavelmente tu estava envolvido.
Why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we
Será que se eu tivesse escolhido outra pessoa, ela estaria aqui?
If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm struggling to remember some details of that case.
Tô botando fé nessa Arconde, não, minha gente. Ela tem uma cara de culpada.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
Isso é hora da gente contestar.
Was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques still had no reason to pull the trigger. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite sensible to us at the time. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea.
Olha lá, minha gente, é hora de virar o jogo que a gente nem começou.
The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end, he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility, and had sent out another assassin. This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene. and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice.
As coisas se encaixaram.
Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
Aí, ganhamos uma.
So that's what happened.
A gente não sabe, moça, é só teoria.
You're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
É, exatamente, nada direto a você. Você tá aí só pra poder fazer pose.
Ask some questions. In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things. One, do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
Boo! If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home!
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Isso aí, minha gente, estamos virando esse jogo. Vamos enrolar, enrola.
I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today.
Ela tá mais contida.
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
É bem provável. Levando em conta a personalidade dela, é bem provável.
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice.
Exatamente. E se o cara não fosse preso, a gente ia estar fodido. Porque o próximo seria a família dele todinha.
What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What?
Eu tô suspeitando muito dessa Fury, né?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives.
Todos teriam virado água, literalmente.
Of course,
Virado
the
comida pra
guards might
peixe.
eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist.
Carai, maluco, meteu essa.
But by staying silent, we retain the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn.
Eu não vou comentar nada.
And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
Exatamente, senhorita.
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course.
Ah, disso você tem prova?
All you need is to ask his opponent, Clorand.
Caralho, maluco, tacou no ventilador mesmo.
I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clorand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callus was intending to die?
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing.
Gente, eu tô ouvindo barulho estranho. Alguma coisa vai dar merda.
In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And, at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
Dun, dun, dun.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
I don't know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations, until I'm the only one left on the list.
Lá, Fukui.
Alas, who won't feel at least a
Estou
little
bem,
hurt
estou
by an
bem.
accusation of murder
Estou
from a
bem.
girl you see as your own daughter?
Morrendo de calor, mas bem.
But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings.
E você, como é que você está? Como estão as
Uncle
coisas?
Marcel teach you another lesson. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
Qual é a maior falha na minha lógica, moço?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
Conte para nós.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in
Poisson.
some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
Aí sim, é bom quando todos estão bem.
I do apologize, demoiselle. This was my mistake.
Esse olhar dela pro cara. Que porra, maluco, tu me fodeu aqui, velho. Tu não fez o trabalho direito, velho. Tô falando, a gente, esse velho é o culpado, eu tenho certeza. Ele é um mordomo, é sempre culpa do mordomo. É sim, cara, jogando fácil é legal. De vez em quando eu jogo com o pessoal do chat da Tati Famosa.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances?
Por favor, moço, manda pra cá.
You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time.
Cara, é certeza que é o mordomo, ele é o único que tem idade pra isso. Ele tava no lugar certo, ele tem a idade certa. É ele, não tem outro.
Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Manda pra cá, velho, a gente só tá enrolando.
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now?
Se a Arconde não foi acusada, ela também não vai ser.
He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me, and it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth, while that same agency has long been taken from them. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. I'm sure some are coming
Aí
to
já
those of
foi,
you in
né,
the
gente? Aí a
audience
galera
as well.
desistiu, já tá todo mundo apelando pro sentimentalismo, é show. Eu tô do lado da garota loira aí, só porque ela é bonita. Existem pesquisas que dizem que a gente acredita mais nas pessoas bonitas. Marcel é um nome de culpado também.
Is it a man named Vache?
Vachan, quem é Vachan? Ei, rapaz, ele gaguejou. Ih, gaguejou. Culpado dizer o quê?
Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
Não mete o louco, Marcel. Tu sabe de quem eu tô falando.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Ela jogou o verde aí, minha gente. Foi bonito, mano. Ela jogou assim. Ela jogou ali pra tentar colher, mano. Agora é a parte que interessa. A gente vai reunir as provas. Que tá em dois times aqui. Tá a loirinha lá. Loirinha não, né? Vamos chamar ela de loirona mesmo. Tá a loirona lá fazendo o trabalho dela. É, distrair geral. Enquanto isso, a Paimon... Que isso? Ah tá, aqui é onde eu ajusto a equipe. Aí eu vou trocar a Linette, eu vou botar... Mas aqui eu já tô com essa daqui de craio. Porra. Não devia ter botado a viajante craio. Craio não, a hidro. A craio é outro. Eu não devia ter botado a viajante hidro. Viajante hidro me fode. Esse jogo é pra curar. Tem a Linette cura um pouquinho ali. Eu vou botar aqui. Vamos do jeito que tá, foda-se. O resto do time segura.
Module 75. Next on the agenda, this is long overdue. Access denied.
Surprise! Cara, eu preciso muito upar a Linette. Ela não dá... Ai, meu Deus, apertei o botão errado. Ela não dá nada de dano. Ainda que eu tenho o resto do time, não. O time dá dano pra caralho. Opa, ela come suporte. Around the world. Olha o baú. Olha o baú. O baúzito. É o baú da felicidade. O baú.
Thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Será que eu vou ter que... Ah, já entendi. Já entendi. Tá na cara. Como é que eu faço, minha gente? O que eu faço aqui? Agora tudo faz sentido, agora as coisas se encaixaram. A alavanca tá desse lado. Tivemos a alavanca. Peraí, ele vai baixar a água? Ah não, tá certo. Eu achei que ele tava baixando a água. Ele tá subindo a água. Ah, provavelmente tem outra porta. Não, não podemos. Eu pulo. Quase que eu me mato. Ah, consegui não me matar. Será que eu consigo passar essa parte aqui? All hail. É foda que esses bichos aqui é tudo eletro. Faz sentido, né? Todo bando de robô tem que ser eletro, né? Imagina. Isso é tipo o Skyrim, que eu tenho que usar Pyro pra matar os bichos eletro. Olha só, nunca usei a ult da viajante. Nossa, mano, na moral, viajante Hydra é muito inútil. Piu, 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 piu. Ai, meu Deus. Ai, eu tô... Let the magic begin. It's a kind of magic. Realmente, cara, se upar a Linette, ela deve ficar forte pra caralho. Porque a minha não tá nem upada direito, ela já tá forte. Imagina se eu upar de verdade. Let's go! Cara, eu amei esse pulo, na moral. Meu Deus. Ah, eu vou cair. É pra cair mesmo? É pra cair. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Ah, não é água. Eu tô dentro de um aquário, é impressão minha. Ah, o baú. Ah, o baúzito, mais um baú. É o baú da felicidade. Oi. Acho que eu não precisava dessa corridinha, mas... Enfim. Adeus. Simulation. Ah, eu...
Access denied. Born of ice and frost.
É tiro. É tiro. Ai.
Animal test 6308.
Vocês também pra minha sucrosa. Ela tá dando um bom dano, mas podia dar mais. Ai, estão atirando em mim.
Absorption test.
Pare de atirar em mim.
Enhanced animal module. Cue the spotlight. Over here.
Aí. Pô, nem um baú. Me dá um baú, pelo amor de Deus. Eu mereço um baú. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch. Pô, me cortou.
After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum.
E o que a gente encontra aqui?
As expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back to the opera house and help Navia.
Como é que a galera entrava aqui? Está tudo debaixo d'água. Lixo, gente. Isso aí não é lixo, não. Isso é um baú.
Aw, it's a bunch of really cute things.
Olha, tem um monte de pai e mão aí dentro.
Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled with different girls' names? Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances?
Mas, irmão, por que tu fez essa cara?
And then they were turned into water.
É bem provável.
And all the boxes of things. These names. That means... Oh...
Tá, nós precisamos de algo mais concreto, aparentemente.
Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea. Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Huh. They've also got all the synth pretty clearly labeled.
Não tá muito bem organizado esse negócio criminal.
Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's super obvious.
Tira umas fotos, minha gente. Tira foto, que se não tirar foto, não... ninguém vai acreditar. Quando você voltar aqui, já não tem mais nada.
What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough.
Cara, eu espero que o cara não tenha assinado as pesquisas dele.
The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24
Isso aqui tá com muita cara de fatui. Calma, Paimon, todo mundo já tá morto.
Traveler, Paimon will try her best. It's just that Paimon's never read something so scary before.
Paimon, você já viu coisa pior, Paimon? A gente lutou contra Deus.
How can someone write something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone?
Doutor, você lembra do Doutor, Paimon? Deixa de drama.
You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did all of these experiments.
Então a mulher dele foi dissolvida e ele queria trazer a mulher dele de volta.
Did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain?
Ah, acho que eu já entendi. Acho que eu entendi tudo agora.
You mean Vache is the one who did all of these experiments? So that's it. Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either. If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water? In any case...
Talvez ela dissolveu sem querer. É bem provável que tipo, foi um acidente ela ter dissolvido e ele tava tentando trazer ela de volta. Loucaço. Então é essa. Gosma bizarra é essa.
Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all the synth, and that special water is the main ingredient.
Por que isso aqui é de fonteira e dissolve na água?
If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth, but the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence.
Tirar foto, Paimon. Tirar foto. É muito importante foto.
Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Paimon's eyes.
Cadê o óculos? Bota o óculos, Paimon.
Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him. Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and Callus because of a lack of confidence that Jacques himself would go through with it. This should prove the existence of the third person, right?
Exatamente, prova tudo.
We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus has passed on to certain members of his organization. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he will still have the upper hand. He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch Navia. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. They're all just so evil. We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were spot on. But... yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Neuvillette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit. Sure thing. Paimon won't admit defeat to this guy either.
Vê que a gente vai achar uma foto do cara. Certeza que a gente vai achar uma foto. tem que fazer aqui, minha gente? Você pulou na água. O jogo não vai deixar, né? Não, não deixa. Ai, fiquei preso. Me soltei. Ai. Eu acho que eu já vi tudo aqui. Esse aqui é o revelo do Genshin. Opa. Tô mandando voltar, então é aqui mesmo que tá o negócio. Ué. Ele não mostra nada. Irmão, não come nada que você encontrar aqui não, por favor. Que caderno bonito.
Isn't that Vashe's lover's name? Then you found her diary. Let's see. Aw, it's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet too. Oh.
Porra, tá no idioma da porra do jogo.
So many. A whole page's worth. But they're all crossed out. Was she on the final name she decided on was Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Venier's grown son?
Caralho! Faz todo sentido.
Hey! Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
É isso ou o cara é imortal? Será que o cara é imortal? Já pensou o cara é imortal?
Whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache?
Vacher. Será que o Vacher é o pai dele ou ele é o Vacher?
Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that. As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
Eu quando for necessário, a gente é VIP, tá? Dá licença.
Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence. But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vache.
Caralho, olha a cena, velho. Parabéns pra quem fez a fotografia disso daqui. É bem simples, mas funciona bem. Dun, dun, dun.
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything. After your lover, Veneer, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you. You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vache.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong?
Onde? Nem eu sei onde é que ele errou, minha gente. Eu não faço ideia do que tá rolando aqui, mas vamos indo. Eu quero ver o fim disso.
You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
Mas como o cara viveu por tanto tempo?
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Ah, o cara vai se entregar. Aí não, minha gente, aí não.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this? Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes?
Caralho, é realmente ele. Ele é o culpado mesmo.
No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vignere's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all.
Moço, seja lá quem for, já tava morto há muito tempo.
Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever. You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignere is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow. But I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't be dissolved. No matter what I do.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go! I can't follow! So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Vignere. I promise. We made a promise. Vignere. Vignere.
Yeah.
Please, Vignere. Don't think badly of me. All I want to do is fulfill our promise.
Nossa, tá doidão.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Mano, que babaca, velho. Na moral, alguém dá um tapa na cara desse Tartaglia, o que ele merece.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignier. During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all.
E onde é que entra os fatui aí, minha gente? Como assim? Vai ter um caso aqui, vai ter uma confusão toda na cidade e não tem um fatui.
The oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher.
Já pensou que ela manda ele como inocente? Vocês já repararam na referência que isso daí é igualzinho à animação do Honkai Star Rail? Ela colocando o ticket.
According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearances case is over now.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken guy?
É sempre assim, moço. Cala a boca, pai, irmão. Estraga o clima, não.
People and now he's finally getting what he deserves. Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely brilliant.
Ela vai sumir, quer ver?
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come. You can rest easy now, knowing justice has been served.
Yeah. It's finally over. It's all thanks to you guys. And my partner. See, Papa? Spina di Rosula's still doing well with me at the helm.
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama?
Cala a boca,
The
tá,
villain's been
tá.
caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me...
Please wait just
Oi,
one
é o
moment,
Fimo.
Mr. Tartaglia.
Pô, deixa o cara ir embora, meu. A única coisa que ela é culpada é de ser babaca. Olá, o Fimo. Bem-vindo de volta. A volta dos que não foram.
What now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Ok. Obrigado pelo lurk. Como é que tá a vida aí? Tá brincando com uma criança? Eu quero ver. Eu tenho certeza. O Tartaglia vai ser acusado de ser culpado também.
Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Olha, realmente, se é bem secundário, pode ir embora e nunca mais voltar.
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
Certeza, maluco, eles vão dar ele como culpado.
This sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
Ah lá, falei, maluco. Certeza, o cara vai ser acusado de ser culpado.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Tartaglia is guilty.
Não, o culpado ele é. A questão é do quê? Do que ele é culpado, minha gente? Vamos deixar bem claro do quê.
Hey, hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Provavelmente, eu acho que tem algo a ver com o Linette.
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger?
É, eu também não.
Do you think Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
Não, é isso aí com certeza. Que ele é culpado, ele é. A questão é do quê.
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
Ah, eu já sei o porquê. O Tartaglia deve ter alguma coisa a ver com a água primordial e a primeira garota que dissolveu.
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict.
Objeção. Eu nunca cometi esse crime, ele foi entregue a mim de bom grado.
Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
Treta! Treta! Briga, 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 briga.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules.
Ah, é verdade.
Well, I've got mine too.
Ele tem uma ilusão, né? Eu sempre esqueço que o Tartaglia tem uma ilusão. Shoryuken. Quem foi? Foi a Furina ou foi o Neuvillette? Foi o Neuvillette, maluco, o cara tem poder.
If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Detalhe, o Neuvillette não tem. Ele não tem uma visão. Como que ele tem poderes se ele não tem uma visão?
Hey, Monsieur Neuvillette, what's going on? Shouldn't they have been cleared already?
Aparentemente não, né? As leis aqui é meio confusa.
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a
Oi.
situation.
Só meteu o tapão no pescotapa nele ali, o cara caiu no chão.
Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Ah, então a gente vai ter que falar com a deusa, né?
Why
tem coisa pra responder. Não, tu criou a porra da máquina, quem mais vai responder pela máquina? Tu tá achando que é assim, tu cria a IA, larga no mundo e foda-se. Tem que responder pelas ações da IA. Não é porque ela tá fazendo nude mandando pra todo mundo que tá valendo. Crítica social. Quem pegou, pegou. Quem não pegou.
I don't know what happened there either. Hey, stop staring at me!
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
Exatamente.
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Cara, certeza foi a Arconde anterior que criou. Ela não é a Arconde original.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
Olha a treta, cara. Isso daqui é a armação dos Fatui. Os caras chegou, botou o Tartaglia entrou lá, pá, pum, pá, discórdia. Com um veredito lá, meio errado, que ninguém sabe, que eu acho que tá certo, né? O Tartaglia é culpado por tudo nessa porra desse mundo. E os caras metem a discórdia. É assim. Fatui é confusão. Não mexe com Fatui, deixa os Fatui quietos.
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some sort of random mishap?
É engraçado que a Furina, ela não é boa pra manter a aparência. Tipo, ela tenta, mas não vai.
Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice's result.
Foi sim. Confessa, mas confessa. Não manda essa, não. Confessa que é melhor.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
Ela não faz ideia, moça. Paimon, até você vai cair nessa. A mulher não faz ideia.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock and bafflement, was a part of an elaborate performance, with every action meant to stir up drama and excitement.
Não mete o louco, Furina.
And, of course, for every performance, there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. As the embodiment of the very concept of justice, the Oratrice shall never render an arbitrary judgment!
Tô botando fé, não.
If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence.
Ah, sim, vamos ser sinceros. Isso daí é impossível porque o Child não tem cara de inocente.
Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely unforgivable!
Cara, eu tenho certeza essa não é a Arconde. O jeito que ela olhou com medo pro Child foi muito estranho. Eu também não tenho muita cara de inocente, não.
Shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my noble intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the Oratrice's verdict.
Eu imagino ela terminando todo esse discurso, ela sai toda pomposa, fecha a porta, ela entra em desespero. Ai, meu Deus do céu, o que eu vou fazer? Eu tô fodido, eu tenho que ir embora daqui, mano. Será que a Nahida deixou eu dormir com ela por um tempo? Ai, Deus do céu. Já falei, eu não tenho como ser ladrão de corações quando as pessoas me dão um coração de bom grado.
It is now time for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave.
Tudo Lu.
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
Oi, ela fugiu. Bora ir atrás.
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
Não, meu Paimon, deixa de ser inocente, pelo amor de Deus.
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
Gente, esquece, é o Shard, ele é culpado. Qualquer coisa que você toca usar ele é culpado. Ele nasceu, o erro dele foi ter nascido.
Alright. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
A gente não sabe como é que ele não tava na prisão. E assim, aparentemente Fatui é igual ao traficante, né? Ou tá preso ou tá morto, ó. Aqui o Shad foi pra cadeia. O Escaramude tá preso lá com a Nahida. A senhora morreu. Apesar que dizem que ela vai voltar, mas até agora tá morta. Então, coisa tá feia pra Fatui. Tem muito futuro, não. Mas tão bonitos os uniformes de saia. Porra, maluco, não prenderam esse aí ainda, não?
What are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Maluco, bota uma algema nesse daí, pelo amor de Deus.
Marcel, what are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list!
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Ah, vai, Lucas, manda aí. Tudo que você disser vai ser usado contra você, tá?
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make in my life. You can do whatever you want to me afterwards. I don't care.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of super terrible things?
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs? Very well. I will grant your
Prova
request.
de que esse daí não é humano também, ó.
Your Honor, I fear that...
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
Claramente, né? Se o cara consegue bater no Chives,
in your most capable hands, Chief Justice.
ele consegue segurar um carinha desse daí, né?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Será que vai ter final feliz? Duvido. Será que vai acontecer? Será que ele vai ver a amada dele?
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot of it on the stage as well? Oh, in that case...
Vache!
Ah!
Yes, that's it! So you heard it too!
Vinier, it's me! It's me, Vache!
Vache? Vache!
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you, Vinier? I'm coming for you. I'm finally here for you.
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey, wait!
Sumiu. Caiu na água, desapareceu, foi embora. Virou pó.
Vinier, is that you? It's me, Vache! Vinier!
Ela não escuta, cara, esquece.
Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years since the day you left. All this time, only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. Nothing else mattered to me.
Aí é foda, viu? Aí é foda.
I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without you.
Gente, isso aí não é amor, não. Isso aí é possessão.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
Caralho, mandou essa.
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself.
Caralho, maluco. Nossa. Vai destruir o cara mesmo.
I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
A gente achava que era amor, que a mulher queria ele de volta só pra poder se despedir dele, encontrar com ele. Não, ela só queria xingar ele. Entenda, Sionite, manda ver, manda ver.
You're right. I am not Vinier. I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals, but we became one, just as streams of water come together in the sea. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vinier.
Why? But then, where is Vinier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her.
Sério? Porra, então se eu botar uma meia pra... Se eu botar uma meia pra dormir, meu coração vai bater a -30.
But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became?
Se fodeu, Marcel.
You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist.
Receba.
The only thing you are not is Vignere's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vignere's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
No! Yeah! She can't hate me. Let me see her. Please! Have mercy!
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vignere. She really doesn't want to see you anymore. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Ele.
Vache. Vache? Vache. 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 Drown.
Caralho, maluco. Aí é foda. Ixi, ficou dark assim do nada. Do nada, maluco. Do nada o bagulho ficou pesadão, velho. Achei que ia terminar pra cima, um negocinho bonitinho, com os dois se reencontrando. Ele voltando à consciência. E nada, maluco. Os caras matou ele.
Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Eu sou viajante, eu saio pra fazer compra e volto com as pernas doendo.
Great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
E eu achando que era o mordomo. Desculpa, mordomo, desculpa. Dessa vez não foi você.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon's already
Não, eu tenho uma só.
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't treasure having a partner like me?
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia.
Como que você vai mostrar?
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and the courts in Sen.
Poisson.
Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court, all attended.
So his name's definitely been cleared now. That's what we like to hear.
Chegou bem no final.
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. I'm so glad I didn't give up on the case all those years ago. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service.
É a Charlotte mesmo.
Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Nem lembro quem é Charlotte.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte? Journalist from the Steambird?
Ah, tá, do Pássaro a Vapor.
Yeah, way back
Essa
when I first
Charlotte.
became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an answer. I
believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness, Secret Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now her wish has finally come true too.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust Charlotte's skills with a pen for sure.
Oh, and in other news, I also took Clorand out for a meal.
Uia, mais um casalzinho se formando. É isso mesmo. Temos mais um casalzinho se formando.
Oh, are you two on better terms now?
While you were investigating Vachey's headquarters, Clorand gave testimony on my father's behalf. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in being awkward all the time.
Oi.
So we took the chance to reconcile with each other.
Ainda não conseguiu me deixar constrangido.
It's always good to have more friends.
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved, perhaps it will slowly begin to fade from the public consciousness. Oh, actually, there's still one last thing I need to do.
What is it?
Vai me levar pra jantar. Não foi ignorado.
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth of what happened, as well as how it all ended. And on top of that, just how much people still look up to him, to this... That includes me, too.
Morgana, tu quer decidir onde é que tu vai deitar? Você já tomou todo o espaço aqui, eu tô tendo que ficar com o mouse em cima da perna. A mesa não é a cama pra você.
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We want to go too. We also think Callus is a really admirable person.
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the moment with me. After all, without you, there might not have been such a positive ending.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent weather, we'll be lucky if we can reach Poisson before dark.
F. Depois eu devolvo os pontos.
Yeah.
Falando nisso, off, me devolve os pontos aí, vai. Aproveita que tu tá aí. Por favor. Faz um favorzinho.
This is where my father's grave is. To be perfectly honest, even I haven't been back here for a long time.
Huh? There's someone there already. Wait, that figure. It can't be.
É a Furina. Certeza que é a Furina, quer ver? Ah, não é, a Neuvillette. Ah.
Justice be here. Huh? Navia?
My apologies.
Achei que ia ser um diálogo sem falas. Culpa da Morgana que deitou em cima do teclado.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown, but still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Ele realmente não é humano.
In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my
Depois vou mandar uma foto do meu teclado pro Discord. Vocês vão entender como que ela acerta esse botão de expressão.
There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be
Não, meu nome não é mentira.
lives. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel.
Infelizmente meu nome não é mentira. Não sou tão lindo.
I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own continued survival. But Mr. Callis proved me utterly and decisively wrong.
Esse cara é o dragão hidro, não é? Esse cara tá realmente dizendo que ele é o dragão hidro.
The serial disappearances case
E todo mundo achando que era Kokomi.
this day. Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people completely unrelated to him. And in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all for the sake of justice. A justice that's higher than life itself. So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. I should have noticed all of this much sooner. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh? That reminds me of Silver, one of my guys.
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just say you don't need to apologize?
Bom, agora eu não sei com quem é que vai rolar o clima aí. Se é entre esses dois ou entre ela e a Clorine.
So Navia and Neuvillette seem to have made their peace as well. Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done.
Exato, deixa os dois. Caralho, maluco, os caras ficaram o dia inteiro.
Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Did Paimon do anything rude there?
Essa é a resposta, minha gente. Geralmente você não deveria ficar voando pelo túmulo de alguém.
Paimon didn't know that was a thing. Paimon doesn't know what she would do if she can't fly.
Será que a Paimon não sabe andar? Cara, eu quero muito uma aventura do Genshin no qual a Paimon não consiga voar. E ela tenha que andar. Eu quero muito ver a Paimon andando.
Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad. Anyway, Neuvillette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we go talk to him for a bit? If we can't talk to Lady Farina, we can at least talk to him, right?
Bem, é isso aí. A gente vai ter que falar com o Neuvillette, mas isso vai ficar para outro dia. É isso aí, minha gente. Obrigado a todo mundo que apareceu. Essa foi a live de hoje. Bye, bye. Bye, bye. Valeu, Fibo. Valeu, Kami. Valeu, Fukui. Bye, bye.